Hello guys, and in today's video we will take a look at the Sherman Jumbo, which is tier 6 American medium tank. And you may not know what this tank is about and what even is this, but this tank used to be one of the most fun vehicles at this tier. As you can see here, I have almost 4000 DPM, and that's because I have the troll gun. And with this gun you have 6-second reload and you deal 410 damage on the HE shells. So this tank definitely is one of the most fun vehicles on this tier, and if you want to get it, you used to be able to get it in the Tritech, but now as you can see it's not available here, and if you want to buy it you have to click this button on the collector's shop, and now you may be able to buy it for 1 million credits. So the most important thing about this tank is of course the setup, and as you can see here I'm using the stock turret and the 105mm troll gun. That's the most important things about this tank, and now let's get into the battles where I will show you everything. So first of all, you may ask me why you should get the E2 and not the E8, the standard in the Tritech. And that's because of the armor. As you can see here, that's the Sherman E8, which is the faster version, and it's in the Tritech. It doesn't have much armor and it's basically a little bit faster Sherman Jumbo. And now as you can see here, this is Sherman Jumbo. So as you can see, the higher plate and the lower plate are much more armored. And now you may ask me why the turret is so... why the stock turret? And as you can see here, this is the stock turret. You have so much more armor than the max turret, and thanks to the armor you can bounce much more shells. As you can see here, it's versus the standard E8 gun with the max shells, and it would just bounce everything. So that is why you use the stock turret, even though you lose 40 health and some other things. I still recommend you to use the stock turret. And now I will show you in this battle why do I think that the howitzer, so the gun with those shells, is for me much better than the standard shell. So as you can see here, that is one of the reasons. Because you deal 400 damage per shot and not 100. If you meet someone with no armor or very lightly armored, which you can definitely meet on those tiers, you can just almost one-shot them. And that is one of the most fun things about the howitzers. Even though there was an HE nerf, this gun still can do something with the 6-second reload. Even if you do 60 damage to some more armored vehicles, you still are reloading fastly enough that the damage output is still somewhat fun. And yeah, that is another reason, the hit shells. So even though you gain 50mm of penetration, you are able then to do 350 damage for just 6 seconds. So this is one of the best DPMs on the tier 6, and even some tanks on the tier 8 and 9 and 10s have this DPM. And even though this gun isn't accurate, as you can see, if the enemy targets are standing still, you can just even snipe with this gun. Of course, that's not the recommended thing to do, because it's very hard to hit anything, as you can see here. But if you hit something, you just deal so much damage. And this is another reason why this tank is so fun. As you can see, I'm just standing a little angled here on this hill, so I'm bouncing almost everything that is going at me. I have already bounced 2000 damage and dealt 1500. And with the standard gun, I don't really recommend to play this tank, because you then have to use the maxed out turret because you just can't use the stock turret with the best gun. And then you just don't have that much armor on the turret, so you won't bounce anything. And you just deal 100 damage per shot. So it's definitely not as fun as dealing 400 or 350 damage per 6 seconds. Unfortunately, with this tank, of course, you have to use some gold, because the hit shells are one of the main reasons of this tank being so fun. And that's because if you meet someone who is at your tier, for example tier 6, so they have like 900 HP, and you can just destroy them in 2 or 3 shots. So 10 seconds and you can kill the enemy tier 6 tank. And now, as you can see, I'm up close, and even now I think I shot with HE and I was able to penetrate. And yeah, of course with those hits you have to aim well, because if you don't you will just bounce. But when you do, yeah, you can see that 300 damage per 6 seconds, it's one of the most broken things at this tier. And with that you can just do so much damage in so quick time. And yeah, as you can see here, I managed to do 2000 already and bounce 2000 damage already. And that is why I think that this tank is still very fun even after the HE nerf. Now of course we won the battle, and even though this battle was on the tier 6s, we still did much because we took the enemies for us, so we were focused by them and they didn't do anything else. And of course we did some damage. So now I'm loading hits, I think, but of course I don't have intuition, unfortunately. But even as you can see, even if the HE won't pen anything, so more armored, you can still do 100 damage. And now as you can see, I will angle to this guy, because if you angle you have more bouncing power. Even though he's shooting gold and he is a tier 6, he still is bouncing me. And now of course I'm loading hits, and you can see how much damage I will deal to him. And even though I will bounce him here, I still managed to do 400 damage per 1 shot when I was facing him from the side. And yeah, this battle definitely was very fun. I bounced, as you can see, 4000 in a tier 6 and dealt 3500 damage. So that is definitely one of the reasons that the E2 is very powerful. And we managed to get the ace tanker, some rewards, and 4 special ones. So I think the steel wall, something about the allies, high caliber, and we also managed to bounce much shots, so we got something. And as you can see, here are the scores on the team: 3000 damage, 1300 base XP, 5 kills. Definitely was a nice battle. 12,000 VN8 score. So definitely, if you want to boost your VN8, definitely you can use this tank. If you want to have fun, definitely the tank to go for. And now the second battle is more complicated. As you can see, we are playing on lake field, but against tier 7s. So even though the tank armor is quite good, because if you angle like that, I think you have around 170 millimeters of penetration here, and on the turret sometimes even more. The tier 7s definitely can pen you through that. Exceptionally the Cheetos, because they are TDs and they may be able to have even more penetration. So now we will try to play around the hill here, as you can see, and try to use our HEs to do some damage, and if we will be able to use then the hit rounds to do much more damage. Now as you can see, I wanted to get here to the position, but unfortunately I take some damage from the tiger, and I think my HE shell went into the gun of his. So now this Loza can't do really much against us if we will play like that. But we can't do much against him either. So now, yeah, he's starting to shoot HE, but he will do 6 damage, so it doesn't really matter. Now I am playing with the hits and trying to hit the cupola of the Tiger one. But as you can see, our ally in the Skoda is feeling himself definitely. So I will try to help him. And yeah, HE 140 damage, definitely. As you can see, you can do much damage to the enemies. And another hit, 6 seconds more, 400 damage. We managed to flank the enemies, and now 6 seconds later, kill. So even though we are low HP, unfortunately I here needed to shoot the HE because I didn't change it in time. But we managed to destroy the flank thanks to the Skoda pushing. And now we are able to get into the position. So even though we have 80 HP left, we can still do much damage, because even for a second, if we are able to hit the enemy, we can do much. As you can see, one shell, and we managed to hit this AMX-57 and even make him die from the burning. So even we managed to bounce a few shells from him, as you can see, even though he shot the APCRs. So with APCRs, definitely you can bounce them too, because this tank definitely has armor on the tier 6 and 7s. And now I'm loading hit for the medium tank. Unfortunately he ran away. But the Cheeto is here, so I thought he can destroy us, but fortunately he has the stock gun, so he wouldn't be able to penetrate us. And now 350 damage into the tier 7 tank for 6 seconds. So much, as you can see. 2 shots, 700 damage. That's the power of this tank. And it's extremely fun, because if you just can't pen the enemy, then you can load the HE shells, and even though you will be doing like 40 damage or so, or something like that, you will still have 6 second reload. And yeah, now another Cheeto, and we are farming him because he has lower plate. 2 shells and he is almost gone. 3000 damage already, and now I'm loading HE shells to end him. But I don't wanna die also. So yeah, as you can see, 21 damage, maybe not that much. But few more shells and he should be dead. He shot another shell, unfortunately. It missed. I'm looking to hit him into the side, because after the recent HE rework, the shells can do much less damage, so you have to aim better. But even with that, this tank definitely can do much damage. So now the battle is won. I try to push something here. Unfortunately, this Firefly kills me. But we definitely helped our team to win this battle. Even though the replay ends here, I will show you results in a second. As you can see, even though we died a little early, we managed to get the ace tanker, 3000 damage, 700 bounce, 3 kills, top caliber. And I think we were first in the team, but I unfortunately don't have a screen of that, so I can't show you. And now the setup. So equipment I'm using is ventilation, gun rammer and stabilizer. So definitely I would use and recommend that. Not really you can change. HP boost doesn't do much on the tier 6s, and the turbocharger isn't really useful as well. I think the ventilation is definitely one of the best equipment that you can use right now. Shells, as much gold of course as you can take, but it's a little expensive, so you don't need to use it, but I think this tank will be better. But of course many HEs you can take as well. I have 85 to 20. I did run out of the gold shells, even though I use them quite a bit, but with them you will be quite powerful, because you can pen many things at this tier. If you go around something, you can pen even tier 8s, so the gold shells definitely improve this tank a lot. And now the crew. So the commander is 5 skills, but you don't need this really. The first skill I would take is definitely coordination, the best skill in the game. And the second skill I would pick is, I think, emergency, because on this tier some things give you like 20 damage with HE, maybe 100 damage with shells, so you can take quite a lot of them and it will boost your performance after that. Then I will take Brothers in Arms, then maybe Recon and Practically, or you can change them. On the Gunner I have Snapshot and Armorer, but I think you can definitely take the repairs, because the repairs will be useful on this tank. I don't have too many, but I think I will take them later, definitely. Here I have Brothers in Arms and Smooth Ride. Again, you can take a repair for something. Here I have still Brothers in Arms and Situational Awareness, because with the weaker turret you have not much of the view range. And on the last guy I took repairs and Brothers in Arms. Maybe here I could have went for something else. Definitely you need intuition, so unfortunately I didn't take it. Ammo tuning is also useful. Close combat definitely. And adrenaline rush also. So if you have 6 perks somehow, I will take those 6 perks. And yeah, now of course I can show you the comparison of the E2 with the HE shell gun and with the max gun. As you can see, we have much more DPM, but thanks to the HE shells, if you want to use the gold, you still have more DPM, so the tank is definitely fun. As you can see, more turret armor definitely will come in handy. 40 HP less, the gun of course behaves much worse. The shells definitely are cheaper, I think. Yeah, even though they are a little more expensive, you shoot a lot less, so even gold spamming with this stock gun is better. And of course you have much more less fuel range, so. But even with that, if you want to have a fun tank to play with, definitely I would recommend this. As you can see, armor scheme against the gun with the higher penetration. So on gold you won't be bouncing as much, but as you can see, if you use the gun depression, maybe if you can angle, you definitely can bounce some shells. So with this turret, definitely I would recommend to use it. And now, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then thank you very much. Maybe you can comment something. And see you in the next one.